The sky above Earth's capital city glowed with strange light as the alien ship descended. It was not like any other vessel humans had seen before. Its silver surface shone like liquid, and its engines made no sound. Crowds gathered in the open plaza, whispering in fear and excitement. Soldiers stood ready at every corner, their eyes fixed on the skies. From the largest ship's lower hatch, a long bridge extended toward the ground. Then she appeared, the alien diplomat. Her tall, slender form was covered in silver and blue armor that sparkled under the sun. Her skin was pale like moonlight, and her eyes glowed faintly, scanning the humans as if she were looking at insects. Every step she took was slow and deliberate, like a queen arriving among peasants. Her guards followed closely, towering alien warriors with sharp armor and weapons that looked far beyond human technology. The crowd went quiet, their earlier murmurs fading into uneasy silence. The diplomat's lips curled into a small smile. She could feel their fear, and she enjoyed it. On the main stage, Earth's leaders waited to greet her. The president of Earth Alliance stepped forward, offering a polite bow, but the diplomat did not return it. Instead, she looked past him, her chin raised high. "I have come," she said in a voice that carried easily across the plaza, "to remind you of your place in this galaxy." Her words were smooth, but the tone was sharp, cutting into the pride of every human who heard them. Gasps spread through the crowd. The diplomat walked down the stage stairs and slowly circled, her eyes scanning every face. "You are a young race," she continued, "too bold for your own good. Your ships are small, your weapons are weak, and your armies are amusing." Her guards chuckled behind her, the sound deep and mocking. In the middle of the crowd, one man did not laugh, did not bow his head, did not even move. He stood with his arms crossed, his eyes locked on her. His clothes were simple, not like the fine suits of the officials around him. Yet his gaze was steady, unshaken. The diplomat noticed him. For a moment, their eyes met, and she felt something strange. It wasn't fear. It wasn't awe. It was defiance. Her smile grew colder. "And yet," she said loudly, making sure he could hear, "there are always those who think they can stand against the order of the galaxy. They are wrong." The man didn't answer. He just kept watching her, calm as stone. Somewhere in the crowd, a whisper spread, people asking who he was. The guards glanced at him too, their hands tightening on their weapons. The diplomat turned away, but in the back of her mind, she couldn't shake the feeling. That human, something about him was dangerous, and that, she thought, could be a problem. The meeting hall inside the Earth Alliance headquarters was vast and filled with light, but the air was heavy. Rows of human leaders sat along one side of a long, polished table. Across from them, the alien diplomat and her guards stood with perfect posture, as if the entire place belonged to them. The translator device on the table hummed softly, ready to turn alien words into human language. Cameras from every news channel in the galaxy were watching. The president welcomed the diplomat again, speaking calmly about peace and cooperation, but she didn't respond with warmth. Instead, she leaned back in her chair, her glowing eyes moving slowly from face to face. "You ask for cooperation," she said, her voice smooth but cold. "But what can you offer the galaxy? Your ships cannot match ours. Your armies are untested. Your people are reckless children playing with fire." A wave of unease spread among the humans. Some shifted in their seats, others avoided her gaze. She smirked and kept speaking. "The Council does not fear you. You should be grateful you are allowed to exist under our protection. Without it, your planet would be claimed by stronger races within days." Gasps echoed in the hall. The insult was clear. Then, without warning, she turned her head toward the back of the room. Her eyes locked on the same man from the plaza, the one who had not looked away. He was standing in the shadows, leaning against the wall, watching everything silently. "You," she said, pointing at him. "Even your soldiers lack the discipline of true warriors. I can see it in your stance, casual, unfocused." Her words dripped with mockery. Perhaps you should learn from the galaxy's real fighters before you speak of defending your planet. The man straightened slowly, his arms still crossed. His voice, when he spoke, was calm but carried across the hall. And perhaps, he said, you should learn that respect is earned, not demanded. The hall went silent. Every camera turned toward him. Even the alien guards shifted uncomfortably. The diplomat's smile faded for a split second. Then she laughed. A sharp, echoing sound. Interesting. A human with a tongue as sharp as his arrogance. She leaned forward, her voice low but dangerous. Then prove your worth if you dare. The man's expression didn't change. Name the terms, he replied. And just like that, the room felt smaller, the air tighter. Everyone knew something had just begun. Something that would not end with words. The alien diplomat's eyes narrowed, her glowing gaze fixed on the human who dared to speak against her. Around them, the room stayed silent. Every leader, every guard, every camera locked on this moment. You want terms? She said slowly, her voice curling into a smirk. Very well. You will face me in combat. Here, in my embassy's arena before the entire galaxy. If you survive even one round, I will grant your people a voice at the council. But when you lose, you will kneel and admit Earth's place beneath us. Gasps rippled through the hall. The challenge was more than a fight. It was a public humiliation waiting to happen. The man didn't flinch. Agreed, he said simply, as if she had just asked him to take a walk in the park. The diplomat leaned back, almost amused. You may choose your weapon, she offered, confident that nothing would save him. No need, the man replied. I'll use my own hands. The alien guards chuckled darkly, their deep voices rumbling like distant thunder. The diplomat tilted her head, studying him. He was calm, too calm. It bothered her more than she expected. Tomorrow at noon, she said. Do not be late. I dislike wasting my time. The meeting ended abruptly. The diplomat rose, her silver blue armor catching the light, and her guards formed a wall around her as they left. The human leaders tried to speak to the man, warning him about alien strength, their advanced combat reflexes, the fact that no human had ever beaten one of them in single combat. He just shook his head. She thinks she's already won. That's her weakness. Outside, the news had already spread across the city, across the planet. The challenge was being broadcast to every colony, every station, every corner of human space. Some called the man a fool, others called him brave, but all agreed they would be watching. High above, in her ship, the alien diplomat stood before a holographic display of the human's profile. Find everything about him, she ordered her second in command. I want to know his training, his history, his weaknesses. Her second hesitated. What if he has none? The diplomat's smile returned, cold and confident. Then I will create one. The next day's fight was no longer just a contest. It was a test of pride, power, and the very place of humanity in the galaxy. And neither side planned to lose. The alien embassy's combat arena was a vast circle of smooth black stone, surrounded by high walls and towering alien banners. Thousands of seats climbed upward like steps, packed with alien spectators and human officials. Every screen in the galaxy was tuned to the event. In the center, the alien diplomat stood tall, her silver blue armor gleaming under the arena lights. Her helmet's visor hid her eyes, but her smirk was visible even from a distance. Two of her guards stood just outside the ring, ready to intervene if needed, not for her protection, but to drag away the broken human body when it was over. The human man entered quietly, wearing simple training clothes, no armor, no weapons. The crowd murmured, some laughing at his foolishness. He walked to the center without looking at anyone, his eyes fixed on his opponent. A deep gong sounded. The match began. The diplomat moved first, her speed blurring as she closed the distance. Her first strike was a sharp, spinning kick aimed at his head, a move that would have ended the fight instantly for most. But the man stepped back at the perfect moment. The kick sliced the air in front of him, missing by less than an inch. The crowd gasped. The diplomat didn't pause. She struck again, a rapid flurry of blows that rattled the arena floor. Yet each time, the man slipped away, ducking, sidestepping, blocking at the last second. "You run well," she said through her visor, her voice sharp with irritation. "But that will not save you." "I'm not running," he replied calmly. "I'm learning." She lunged, aiming a crushing punch at his chest. This time, he caught her wrist mid-strike. For a moment, the crowd went silent. Then, with a twist, he broke her stance, forcing her to stumble backward. The diplomat's smirk faltered. That wasn't supposed to happen. From the stands, whispers spread fast. This human was different. His movements weren't wild or desperate. They were measured, like he had already studied her fighting style before stepping into the ring. She rushed him again, this time with more force, her armor's servos humming. The blows were faster, heavier, but the man began to counter. Not just avoiding her attacks, but turning them against her. A clean strike landed on her side, making her armor ring like a bell. The sound echoed across the arena, followed by shocked silence. The diplomat straightened slowly, breathing harder than before. She tilted her head, studying him now with genuine interest. "Perhaps," she said quietly, "you are not as weak as your people." He gave a small nod. "And perhaps," he answered, "you are not as untouchable as you thought." The crowd erupted. But deep inside, the diplomat felt something new. An unfamiliar sensation she did not want to name. It was the first hint of doubt. The arena felt different now. The alien diplomat no longer moved with the lazy confidence she had at the start. Her steps were sharper, her guard tighter. The human had forced her to take him seriously, and that fact alone annoyed her more than any insult could. She circled him like a predator, but he didn't back away. He stood ready, his breathing steady, his eyes locked on hers. Every muscle in his body seemed relaxed, yet there was a readiness in his stance that made even the alien guards uneasy. She feinted left, then spun right, delivering a heavy strike toward his ribs. This time he didn't dodge, he caught her arm and pivoted, throwing her across the ring with surprising strength. She slid back, her boots screeching on the black stone floor. The crowd roared in shock. No one had ever thrown her like that. She rose quickly, a low growl escaping her lips. Her visor hid her eyes, but she could feel the heat rising inside her. She rushed forward, attacking with a fury she had never shown in public combat. Blows rained down in a blur of silver and blue, each one strong enough to break bone. But the human met every strike, blocking, deflecting, and countering with movements so precise they looked effortless. He wasn't just surviving anymore. He was pushing her back. A sudden hook from his right hand slammed into her side again, hitting the same spot as before. She staggered, her breath catching. He followed with a sweep that knocked her to one knee. The arena went silent. For the first time, she looked up at him from below. The sight burned in her pride. "You're holding back," she hissed, her voice low. "You haven't earned my full strength yet," he replied calmly. Those words struck deeper than any blow. She launched herself at him with reckless speed, her attacks wild with frustration. And that was when he saw it, the opening he had been waiting for. He stepped inside her guard, twisted her arm, and locked her wrist in a hold that made her drop her weapon. The sound of it clattering to the floor was like a bell signaling her loss of control. Gasps rippled through the stands. The alien guard stepped forward, but she raised a hand, stopping them. She was breathing hard now, sweat running down her temple beneath the helmet. The human released her and stepped back, giving her the space to rise. It was not mercy, it was a statement. He wanted her to know he could have ended it, but chose not to, and that cut deeper than defeat. She stood slowly, her pride bleeding into the arena floor. For the first time in her career, she wasn't sure if she could win. The air in the arena felt heavy now, charged with something everyone could feel. An end approaching. The alien diplomat's perfect composure was gone. Her stance was lower, her breathing sharper, her movements no longer flowing with confidence but forced by desperation. She adjusted her footing, trying to reset the rhythm of the fight. The human simply stood there, shoulders relaxed, eyes fixed on her like he had already seen how this would end. She attacked again, using her armor's full strength. The ground cracked beneath her steps, each strike coming with enough force to shatter stone. But every time, the human blocked or slipped away, letting her exhaust herself. He was patient, dangerously patient. The crowd began to notice. Whispers spread through the stands, even among the alien spectators. They could see what was happening. The human wasn't just fighting, he was dismantling her. Finally, she lunged with a high kick aimed at his head, a move meant to end it instantly. But he caught her leg midair, twisted, and swept her other foot out from under her. She hit the ground hard, the sound echoing through the silent arena. Before she could rise, he stepped forward and placed his foot gently, but firmly, on her chest plate, pinning her without hurting her. His hand extended toward her, open, offering her the choice to stand on her own. The alien guards tensed, waiting for her command, but she didn't give it. She looked up at him, her glowing eyes burning with pride and something she had never felt in combat: respect. Slowly, she reached up and took his hand. He pulled her to her feet. The crowd erupted, half in cheers, half in disbelief. He didn't raise his arms in victory, didn't smile, didn't taunt her. He simply stepped back, letting the moment speak for itself. The silence between them was louder than any shout. Her voice was low when she finally spoke, but the translator carried it to every corner of the arena. "You have earned my respect, human, and the respect of the council." The human gave a small nod and turned away, walking toward the exit as the crowd continued to roar. Behind him, the alien diplomat stood alone in the ring, her armor scratched, her pride wounded, but her heart, strangely, lighter than before. For the first time in her long career, she had been put in her place. And she knew she would never forget it. The next morning, the story had already spread far beyond Earth. Every news screen in human space and every alien network replayed the match over and over. The moment when a single human man stood over the galaxy's most feared diplomat and offered her his hand instead of a killing blow. In the alien embassy, the diplomat sat alone in her private chamber, her armor set aside, her thoughts heavy. She replayed the fight in her mind. Every strike, every counter, every time his eyes stayed calm no matter what she did. She had faced countless warriors from across the stars, but none had unsettled her like this human. When the human arrived for the formal closing ceremony, the hall was filled with officials, soldiers, and media crews. The atmosphere was different now. No one looked at him as just another man. He walked with the quiet confidence of someone who didn't need applause to know his worth. The diplomat stepped forward, wearing ceremonial robes instead of battle armor. In her hands was a silver medallion engraved with the crest of the Galactic Council. She stopped before him, holding it out for all to see. "In our laws," she said clearly, "respect is earned in victory. Yesterday, you earned not just mine, but the respect of the entire council." She placed the medallion around his neck. The hall erupted in applause. Even the alien guards who had once mocked him stood with their fists to their chests in salute. The human met her gaze and spoke only 3 words. "Respect is mutual." For a moment, her stern expression softened into a faint smile. "Perhaps your people will teach the galaxy more than we ever expected." As he turned to leave, cameras flashing around him, the diplomat watched with a strange mix of admiration and curiosity. She had arrived on Earth believing no human could challenge her. Now she was leaving with the knowledge that one human had changed the way she saw an entire species. And somewhere deep inside, she knew this would not be their last meeting. The galaxy had just learned an important lesson. Humans might be young, but they were far from weak.